What's up, Robin Corinne here. Welcome to yet another edition of Threadheads.
This week we're in Austin, Texas, and we're going to visit some really cool local DIY shops and get a very special interview with an Austin Craft Mafia member.
Yeah!
My name's Jenny Hart. I'm an embroidery artist and designer. I'm the founder of Sublime Stitching. My mother actually had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was staying at home with her. And I just had all this time on my hands, and I went, oh, she can teach me how to embroider, and all the supplies are here, and so I'm going to start. And so the first thing I did was a portrait of her, and I got addicted. And then I moved on to doing rock stars and pinups. And I thought, you know, there are other people my age and younger who, by and large, aren't considering this as a creative outlet because the resources are not there. I started Sublime Stitching, and I'm my first customer. I started designing all the things that I wished were out there that I couldn't find, like really simple instructions that said, this is an embroidery hoop, this is how you put fabric on embroidery hoop, this is how you thread a needle. Everything just assumed that mothers were still teaching their daughters or sons that, and that's just really not the case anymore. Here's the starting point, here are the tools, now go play. So I'm going to show you a really simple way to get started in embroidery. You can take an iron-on transfer pattern, in this case roller derby, with a hot iron with the steam off. I'm going to preheat the fabric because warm fabric will take the ink more easily. And then I'm going to lay the pattern down. I'm going to pass, but you want to be really careful that you don't shift the pattern. Yes. And you can reuse these. You can reuse these patterns. They're made with a special ink, so they'll do multiple imprints. There we go. If you don't have an iron-on transfer paper, you can get carbon transfer paper. You just lay it against fabric and you can write your name. You can trace a design from a clip art book. If you don't have carbon transfer paper, you can just draw on fabric. You can freehand with a pencil or with maybe some really hard artist charcoal and just stitch over that. You don't have to use an embroidery hoop. An embroidery hoop makes it a lot easier to hold your fabric and it'll stretch it out. And you want to pull your fabric taut, kind of like a drum head. And I have a needle, and it's just a basic sharp needle. It's nothing fancy, it's not a specialty needle. These usually come in a pack of assorted needles. It's the one in the middle. And then this is a cotton embroidery floss made with 6 strands. You can separate the strands away for finer detail, or you can work with all 6, which is what I do because I like chunky stitches. And this is a little bit longer, but like around to your elbow or past. Tie a knot at the end. You're going to come up from behind the hoop along your pattern line. And I'm going to show you my favorite stitch, which is a split stitch. You're going to go back down, and you can make your stitches as long or short as you want, but this is about the length of a grain of rice. And then for this stitch, I'm going to come up in the middle of the last stitch I just made, which is why it's called a split stitch, because you're splitting it. And then you just continue along your pattern line. And if you're finished, you can take your needle, put it up against the fabric where you want the knot. Now pull it and it'll tighten up against your fabric right there. So Threadbanger is giving away one of my ultimate embroidery kits. Just check their blog for full details.
Hi, my name is Lou Payment. I'm a 9th grade social studies teacher from Torrance, California. I think my students are desperate to make some sort of fashion statement, but they're horribly misguided. Just last week, they showed up wearing their underwear outside of their clothes. They looked completely inappropriate. Threadheads, you gotta help us out.
Don't let your school become a fashion horror story. Submit your videos on YouTube to be in the running for a DIY fashion makeover. Go to threadbanger.com for more details.
Hey Threadbangers, I've been sick for the past week, so I've had to stay home from school, but I got to make a really cool thing. I was supposed to get a shirt for my boyfriend a really long time ago, but they ended up selling out at the store, so instead, I made him a hat. It's a toast and a toaster. He really likes pillows, so boop! Ah, happy. So yeah, I just thought I would share that with y'all. Peace.
Austin's got a cool indie scene with a bunch of awesome little stores. Head down to Congress Ave and check out some of the small boutiques like Blackmail, Creatures, and Hovercraft, which had this painting of George Bush stepping on an Iraqi baby's head, which made for interesting decor.
These stores were all great, but we found the DIY mecca over at Parts and Labor, a rad little boutique featuring tons of local designers from Austin. We walked out with a bunch of cool finds, like this Pulp Fiction influenced wallet, and a couple funny t-shirts for some friends. For more, check out partsandlabor.com.
Time to get interactive on your asses.
Interactive. Hannah25952 wrote, "We should make another show like the viewer takeover episode when Rob and Corinne went on vacation." Hannah25952, you're absolutely right. With the holidays coming up, we're traveling like crazy. So we would love to see you guys take over another episode and host it and send in some videos, a lesson, anything you got. Upload it. Upload button is somewhere around, probably right here. I'm hoping it's exactly right there.
On the forums, This Is Huey and Lady Lovechick sent in some pics of their Humble Bumblebee-inspired pillbox hats.
Pretty nice.
Also floating around in the forums, a bunch of cool stencils, like the Apple Skull and Crossbones, this Clockwork Orange one, some pancakes, and the good old Give Peace a Dance.
And last but not least, we have Smudgeness, who wishes for another show to go up during the middle of the week. Well, Smudgeness, and everyone else out there looking for something to do on Wednesday, tune in next week for our new DIY Winter Special, where we show you how to transform your closet into a winter wonderland.
Till next week, we're out of here.